The course starts covering what globalisation is and what effects that has on world politics. So it will ask questions like, is the nation state still a significant actor in politics today? How can democratic decisions be made when there isn't an elected global government? Various questions like that. We'll then look into issues around the politics of development, so aid to so-called third world countries, development assistance, the role of women for development and the effects of development on women. And we'll look at a series of issues related to contemporary conflict. So in what ways is conflict changing in today's globalizing world? We're now seeing terrorist networks emerging across borders rather than wars between states. So we'll look at questions about what conflict means today. And we'll look at the links between development and conflict. So does underdevelopment lead to conflict? Does conflict cause underdevelopment?
It's interdisciplinary. I mean, it teaches you everything: politics, philosophy, ethics, history. It's so many different topics it covers, but it covers them enough in depth you can talk about them confidently.
There are lots of areas that I would have never thought that I would want to study or have studied unless I came and did this degree. And another thing is that the staff and the lecturers are so passionate about what they do here. That definitely struck a chord with me. Is I want to learn if these tutors who are teaching me really care about what they do.
I found the international security really interesting and how environmental issues like climate change and stuff like that impacted people and just impacted like a state's security. I found that one of the most interesting stuff that we've done so far.
There's another part of the course which is on global environmental politics. So looking at the potential climate crisis that we're heading towards on a world scale and looking at the ways in which that's being managed or not being managed, as the case may be, by global institutions and by businesses that operate across borders, activists that operate across borders. Finally, there'll be a part of the course which is on, again, back to the theme of conflict, but it's on humanitarian forms of conflict. So we'll look at human rights and the way they're used to justify certain forms of supposedly humanitarian warfare. We'll question whether there could be a humanitarian war, look at some of the wars that have happened under the name of human rights and humanitarianism and look at the effects of those wars.
We looked at so many different areas of globalisation. So one module was conflict and security, where we kind of looked at massive humanitarian issues such as the Rwandan genocide, the Bosnian crisis, the Darfur crisis, and it's areas that I hadn't studied before.
I mean, it's important ultimately to think about how we should act today, how both we as individuals and politicians on our behalf and collective groups of people should behave in the contemporary world. And to know how to act, you're going to have to understand what's going on in its full historical, political and philosophical significance.